Death's Guide. Peter Pan isn't just a boy who won't grow up. He might be something darker. In Barry's original book, Peter walks part way with children who've just died so they won't be scared. That's not a job for a carefree kid. That's a job for a guide to the other side. And when the Lost Boys start growing up, Peter quietly deals with them. Barry never explains how. You just notice they're gone, with no trace of what happened. Put those two details together, and Neverland stops feeling like paradise. It starts feeling like a stop before whatever comes next. Disney left this out of the film. The book never did. Human food. On the axiom, every meal comes through a straw. Nobody ever asks why. For 700 years, nobody plants a seed, catches a fish, or cooks a single meal. That gap built one of Pixar's darkest fan theories. With 0 farms and thousands of mouths to feed, something has to fill the gap. Some fans think that something is other humans, quietly recycled into the food supply. The film never confirms it. It never rules it out either. All you see is a fully automated system controlling every meal, with no real source explained. That silence is exactly why the theory won't die. Death's Prince. Snow White's story gets remembered as a rescue, but watch when the prince actually shows up. He appears right after her near death at the well. Then again, the second she falls into her poisoned sleep. Each time he arrives on a pale horse, imagery long tied to death itself. Under this theory, the kiss that saves her isn't a rescue at all. It's the moment she lets go. He leads her to a castle floating above the clouds, not a kingdom you could ever visit. Disney's never confirmed this reading, but once you time those entrances, the fairy tale looks like something else. Moana died. Moana survives things no sailor should survive. One theory says that's because she doesn't. A storm wrecks her boat early in the film. By this theory, that's the moment she actually dies. Everything after plays out like a spirit's journey, not a girl's. She walks through the realm of monsters and comes out untouched. She faces gods and lava demons without a scratch. None of that fits normal survival. Supporters point to the ending, where Te Fiti restores her the moment the ocean brings her home. Nothing in the film says this outright, but once you notice how impossibly she survives, the whole voyage feels different. CIA parents. Cobra Bubbles isn't just a social worker. The film tells you that itself. He says he used to work for the CIA before switching to child services. That line is actually in the movie, not fan speculation. But the film never explains why a former agent lands this exact case. Fans think Lilo and Nani's parents died connected to Cobra's old world. That would explain why he's the one who shows up. It might even explain Lilo's odd habits, like photographing strangers and collecting strange books. Disney's never confirmed any of it, but that one CIA line keeps the theory alive. Drug trip? Most people assume Alice in Wonderland was always about drugs. History says otherwise. Alice shrinks and grows without warning. Time bends, a caterpillar smokes from a hookah and speaks in riddles. None of it follows normal dream logic. That reading exploded in the 1960s, when musicians leaned into it hard. Songs like White Rabbit made the connection permanent in pop culture. But here's what people skip. Lewis Carroll wrote the book in 1865, decades before recreational drug culture existed. His journals mention nothing of the sort. The trippy reading says a lot about the 1960s. It says almost nothing about what Carroll actually meant. Genie time travels. Disney cut this detail from The Little Mermaid. It never really went away. You can still find it if you know where to look. In an early draft, Ursula wasn't just Triton's enemy. She was written as his own sister. That idea disappeared from the 1989 film, but it kept showing up everywhere else. The Broadway musical has Ursula call Triton her big brother. The 2016 novel confirms it again, and in 2023, the live-action remake finally said it on screen. Triton didn't just lose a rival when Ursula turned dark. He lost his sister, secret cousins. Genie spends 10,000 years locked in a lamp. So how does he know today's jokes? The moment he's freed, he's cracking pop culture references from nowhere. Fans have pointed out that gap for years. Turns out there's an explanation in the extended Aladdin universe. In the animated series, Aladdin travels back to the moment Agrabah gets founded. Magical sands of time spill across that exact spot. Genie bottles some of that time magic for himself. That's how a genie trapped for 10 millennia knows things that haven't happened yet. It's strange, but it turns a joke into an actual clue. Belle's ancestor. Disney actually contradicted itself on this one. Both sides are on record. Anna and Elsa's parents die off screen in a shipwreck, just like Tarzan's parents do. Director Chris Buck addressed it directly, telling MTV the whole story. The Queen was pregnant during the wreck. She gave birth to a boy on a jungle shore. The couple was later killed by a leopard. In his words, Tarzan is Anna and Elsa's brother. That's about as close to confirmation as a theory gets. Then in 2019, producer Peter Del Vecchio shut it down completely. One director backed it by name. One producer killed it just as directly. Ursula's sister. Not every theory here stays a theory. This one turned out completely true. During Elsa's coronation, a couple briefly bows to the new queen. You might have watched this scene a dozen times and still missed them. Look closer and you'll spot a woman in a pale gown matching Rapunzel's look. Beside her stands a man dressed just like Flynn Rider. Fans caught it almost immediately after release. And unlike most crossover theories, this one was never denied. Filmmakers confirmed it outright. A deliberate cameo linking both films. It's the rare case where the theory and the official answer match perfectly. Rapunzel confirmed. Here's a theory built entirely on Greek myth, and it actually holds up. You wouldn't expect two separate movies to connect this way. Poseidon and Zeus are brothers in the myths, both sons of Cronus. Disney's King Triton is modelled on Poseidon. Hercules is famously the son of Zeus. Follow that family tree, and Triton and Zeus become brothers. That makes Hercules and Ariel first cousins. Neither film confirms this, and Disney's never said its gods share one mythology, but the logic lines up clean enough that fans keep bringing it back. It turns two separate stories into one shared family tree, Tarzan's brother. Here's the smallest theory on this list, and the easiest one to miss. You've probably watched this movie without ever spotting her. In The Hunchback of Notre Dame, a woman who looks exactly like Belle walks past in the background. She's gone in under a second if you blink. Fans have treated her as more than coincidence for years. Some even call her an ancestor of Belle herself. Both films are set in France, generations apart, which makes it plausible on paper. But Disney's only ever called it a visual nod. It's proof one background detail can spark a theory people still argue over today.